Well, we found a nice little spot to stealth camp last night, and we're off and ready to roll this morning. It's a nice brisk morning. It's about 40, maybe barely under right now, so chilly. I hear a woodpecker in the background or something. So, I sent a bunch of stuff home yesterday, and so the verdict on that is, I cut the lower half of my sleeping pad off because I just didn't want to use it anymore, and it's been, it's gonna save some weight, and it's not that cold out, so it'll be fine. But it was definitely colder last night, so I'm gonna have to adjust how I'm sleeping a little bit. Maybe need to just put something underneath where my legs are if it's gonna be a cold night, like my rain pants or something. Sent my puffy jacket home, and don't need that at all. But the thing is, I had this little clothing bag that I keep some of my extra clothes in, including the puffy and stuff like that, and that's what I use as my pillow at night. So now my pillow is really tiny, so it made it a little harder to sleep. So I just have to get used to that. I've definitely slept with a tiny little clothing bag like that before, so it'll just take a little while. But yeah, I definitely woke up a few times last night trying to get my head the right way and get comfortable. So anyway, and I also, since I'm sleeping, it was pretty cold last night, and since I'm sleeping a little colder without all my whole sleeping pad, I've also got this fleece that I can wear that I need to start wearing probably, because I was pretty chilly last night without it on. So anyway, but oh, my pack is so light. I mean, I can just jump, and it's great. So whatever problems were created by sending stuff home, including the bear canister, of course, which was the bulk of it, is not going to be a problem. I'll definitely get used to that quickly. It was worth it. Okay, so we tented about 7,500 feet last night, and right now we're climbing up to about 8,000. Then we'll go down and up above 8,000 again a couple times today, I think. But as we've climbed, temperature's risen pretty rapidly, so it's already above 50. I got these rain pants on, keep mosquitoes away and keep me a little bit warm this morning, but it's about time to peel those off. But what I realized, I looked at the elevation maps real quick, and what I realized is we won't go above 9,000 feet again. So we are now permanently below 9,000 feet, and in fact, by the end of the day today, we will no longer go above 8,000 feet until we flip all the way down to the high desert way at the end of this thing and finish that up and do San Jacinto, and I think we get up above 8,000. But yeah, basically we're going to be below 8,000 from the end of today on, so that'll help with the breathing and all that. And really what even prompted me to think about that this morning was the fact that I'm not breathing great today. And I wondered, how high are we? Because it feels like we're up high. But I think the main problem is hasn't been much rain out here for quite a while. It's super dusty. The trail's really dusty. And, even hiking by yourself, you're kicking up dust everywhere that you're breathing. So that creates problem for me anyway. I woke up this morning and last night really congested, so hopefully the elevation won't help with that any, but maybe we'll get a little tiny rain and it'll settle down the dust a little bit. Okay, I think we're at the top of One more of our climbs for the day, up to 8,000 feet. We are just finishing our last climb up at 8,000 feet for the day and forever, all the way to Canada. We will be below 8,000 feet. So, yeah, breathing's been easier and it's going to continue to get easier. We're not totally sure, but those clouds have been over there all day long looking exactly the same. And they kind of appear to start down there to the left, and rise from there. And the way they're drifting across, we're pretty sure that that's a wildfire, that is up near the city of Etna, which we will be in, well, I'm guessing, but a couple of weeks anyway, maybe slightly longer. And there's been a trail closure as a result, and not really a good workaround, so still trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Probably have to get out and walk on the roads a little bit, and then there's a trail that'll get you back on up north of the fire. So, you know, we'll just keep our eyes on it and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Well, that made a nice little lunch spot for us. And we did 15 miles, a little bit more, just 15 point whatever, by lunchtime today. So we were really cranking. And now we are heading off towards Sierra City. Sierra City is about 15 miles away. We'll do another 5 or 10 and get as close as we can for tomorrow. Well, we just came out of the woods and there was a guy standing out there who said, "Hey, would you like some trail magic?" And there were a whole bunch of hikers hanging around, and so we got a little bit of trail magic. It's over here. Yeah. So yeah, they had, oh, it was a family, and they had, you know, Gatorades and cake and fruit and salad and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, there's a guy who thru hiked in 2016, lives in San Mateo, and tries to come out once a year to do this, and we happen to be the lucky recipients this year, so that was awesome. So now it is about 3:15 in the afternoon. It's kind of hot. We're trying not to focus on that. Better watch, because timber falling ahead, so I don't know. There's says private logging occurring between July and September. Yeah, so be careful. I don't know. Anyway, it's 3:15 in the afternoon. We've already done 19 and a half miles. We've been flying today. And, you know, it's one of those things where, like, we want to do as many miles as we can. We would really have to kill ourselves, and it would be way late to get into Sierra City tonight, so we're not going to do that. And, you know, even if we got really close, like within a mile or two, well, then we'd just be hanging around tomorrow morning just waiting to, you know, for the day to get long enough for us to be able to go in, the post office be open, stuff like that. So anyway, I guess the point is we're probably maybe 11 miles from town, but we're just gonna probably just do a small handful of miles and just call it a night, you know, at a relatively decent time, and then just have a good relaxing evening. Get ready to go in tomorrow and resupply, try and get in and out of town quick, and get some miles made tomorrow too. So it's interesting. They're doing obviously doing logging around here. You can see in the background a bunch of stuff's down, and then further back, kind of in front of us, but behind me here, There's some trees already cut, so yeah, something going on. I'm not sure how they're doing that with people hiking through here, but there's no one actively cutting at the moment, so I guess we won't worry about it. Just a little less than 2 miles to the water source, and then we'll find tenting real quickly after that. It's a pretty flat area, I think. So anyway, we'll have to add it up, but what I think that tells me in my head is that we will have done over a marathon today. I think we'll end up doing like maybe 26.7 or 8 or something like that. So anyway, long day, but it'll put us real close to town tomorrow. So I bet I sleep well tonight too. I thought I could hear our water down there. Yeah. Where is it? Right in there. Oh, just have to get there. And then we're almost ready to tent and eat and go to bed. I can't wait. Well, I was actually wrong. We turned the corner and went the other way, and here's another water source, and this is our water source. And it was even closer, so hallelujah. Time to get some water. All right. We got our water. We found camp. We're all set up. We got down there and soaked our feet in the creek. That was good. And yeah, I didn't figure out exactly how many miles, but we for sure did more than a marathon. So I think it ends up being like 26.7 or 8 or something, but whatever. We did it, and yeah, we're going to bed now. See you in the morning. Oh, and by the way, I was standing right here just a few minutes ago, and a bat just flew right up about 6 feet in front of my face, just flew around in a circle and then took off. Pretty cool in the daylight. You can see him clear as day. Good morning. There's our little campsite back there. It was a nice night. We slept really well. Lately I've been waking up for some reason around 3:20. Having a hard time getting back to sleep. This morning I woke up and it was dark. I assumed it was 3:20. I laid there for about 10 minutes and my alarm went off. And I said, whoa, man. How can it already be time to get up? But it was. So here we go. 5 miles into Sierra City. We've got a box waiting for us that we shipped to ourselves, and so we'll have to go through that and get new shoes and get all our supplies, and we'll probably eat something in town, then try to get out as quick as we can. No 0 days today. All right, we're just a couple of miles away from the highway. Might be in town in an hour and a half or so. We're getting closer to the highway, and we've come through these deciduous trees. This is the first time in ages. I can't even really tell you how long, we walked through leaves on the ground. So yeah, there's trees all over. There's even, we even saw some oak trees back there. I don't know what that is. Almost looks like maple or something, but I don't think it is. But it's kind of cool. I don't know how this just ended up here on the other side of the valley. They're all pines and junipers, just like everything else we've been going through. But not in here. There's a little oak tree for you. Right there, you see those leaves maybe? Anyway, can't remember if I mentioned yesterday or not, but we come up to this highway to go into Sierra City. There's a bridge that's been damaged. And the PCT says the bridge is closed, you know. You got to go with this other reroute. But we've seen a bunch of information saying that the damage on the bridge is really minimal, and that people from town are out here, you know, hiking around, and they just stop and they're walking across the bridge all the time and it's no problem. I don't know, we're walking to the bridge and we're gonna hopefully just be able to cross it easily, get out to the highway and thumb a ride into town. If we get there and it's worse, I don't know, we'll figure something out, ford the river or backtrack and do the reroute or something, but I don't think it will be. So here's the bridge. There's definitely a little bit of structural damage. You can see the top beam right there is busted in, which, you know, that's kind of a big thing. But anyway, we're gonna go across and test it. You know, this thing is designed for many people to be on it at once. So one person going across, probably not an issue whatsoever, but still a little nerve-wracking. Super nice guy just stopped to pick us up. All right, this is our second day in Sierra City. So try to make it really super short here, what I'm going to say, but we came in yesterday, realized there were forest fires, wildfires north of here. Sat down here at the general store for hours and hours just looking at every option, flights and buses and trail angels and you name it. Couldn't come up with much of anything. Finally found somebody. It's going to take us from here all the way. We're going to skip hundreds of miles anyway. All the rest of Northern California are going to take us up to Ashland, Oregon. And we're going to hike north from there. And there's forest fires there too, but we're just going to do the best we can, see what happens. So guys should be here to pick us up at 10 o'clock. We slept on this country store you can see up here. We slept on the porch last night because there was nothing else in town available, because there's just a million hikers here because everyone stopped and stuck because of the fires. So everyone's making their plans and trying to get out of town, and more hikers are coming into town today, and yeah, kind of crazy. We'll just get going here in an hour up to Ashland, and then we'll just see what happens from there and how far we can go before we hit more fires.
Look at this.
Go. All right, we are in Oregon and we're kind of on the trail. Got dropped off here at this little highway exit, and we have to road walk for about a half mile. It's the trail, and down this access road, and then we'll get on the actual trail. And we're not gonna do much tonight. We're just gonna get in and find a place to tent wherever that is. Hopefully it'll just be a couple miles. And yeah, we're done with Northern California for now. So we've got maybe 90-ish, maybe 100, about 100 probably miles. I think I already mentioned this earlier, but to the beginning kind of south part of Crater Lake, and then there's a whole big section closed because of fires. So we'll have to figure out how to get ahead of that. And then, as of right now, once we skip to that other side, there won't be any fires for, there aren't any fires for a long time. So we should be able to get almost all the way to Washington without any issue, unless there are new fires or these fires spread. So we'll see what happens over the next few days. And Tiger Lily's friends are going to be joining us in a few days. So we will, hike towards Crater Lake, and then when we get halfway there, they'll join us, and we'll have to figure that whole thing out. So exciting. Look what we see here. Cool. Well, the trees are a little different. The deer are a little different. Black tails, black antlers. The grass is definitely different. I think this is that kind of stickery grass that we saw some in the desert, where it sticks all over everything. We're hiking on dirt. And this is real dirt, not kind of sand dirt like we've seen at in the past here on the trail. So yeah, Oregon, it's fantastic to be in Oregon, be somewhere a little different. Yeah, fun. Already seeing cool new things.